time at Costco, this is just another funny story that involves Costco. My friend and I were again at the food court line, and we were waiting there. And there was this substitute teacher that I recognized that was in line like a couple people behind us. And he was a very strange substitute. He used to he had long hair and like a really kind of like porn starry mustache. And
That's appropriate for school.
Yeah, exactly, right? And he had this like really pronounced beer gut. Like one of those things where it was almost like a shelf, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He could set like his pencils and utensils on there. But that wasn't even the weird part, but before every class he would do magic for us, right? And it was awesome. He was so cool. His name was Mr. Leone. And he had this like kind of like nasally voice. I'm like, okay, today, children, I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of the floating coin trick. Check this out. All right, here we're gonna do. And he like hold a coin up on his finger and he have it float there. I'm like, oh, you want little Timmy? Come up here. You want to try it? Here, take this coin. Try to make it float. And he like tried it and it would drop. And then he'd obviously tell us the trick at the end of it. He's like, oh yeah, I have a little magnet right here in my hand. I hold it there and hold the coin up just like that. You guys, magic. Okay, let's do some math.
See, that's not the voice I was expecting at all.
No, he was a weird contradiction all around. But he was in line behind me and my friend, and I saw him and I was like, oh my god, hey, Gary, do you remember that sub that used to do magic for us back in high school? And Gary looks at me with the biggest like happy face and just basically yells, Mr. Leone! And I'm like, dude, he's right behind us. And we look back, we're like, go! And we look forward, we're like, do you think he heard us? No, I don't think so. But we can't look back because we didn't want to engage him and talk because we weren't in that mood, and also we felt like he would talk to us for a really long time. We were just gonna get in and get out. But for the rest of our time at Costco, we had to like play cat and mouse and avoid him
because he's chasing you down now.
I swear I heard my name from someone in here,
He's
and I'm
activated all his hand magnets. He's trying to find you crawling around on the wires and stuff.
I would imagine he would just like. We'd be like pulling off a box of like granola bars, and his face would just be behind us, like, "Hey, did you guys call me earlier? I recognize you boys. How you guys doing?" I'm like, "Ah!"
It's like that annoying friend who just follows you everywhere.
Exactly.
What are we doing today, guys?
We just put the box back and hopefully he's trying to hide forever. But yeah, that was good.
I like that guy.
He was nice. He was a good sub. I mean, as far as subs go, I've had some weird ones. There was one guy who I was convinced was seconds away from snapping and like strangling one kid in the class. Not because he seemed angry, but because he seemed so like bizarre. You know what I mean? Like all of his strings had broken. He was on the last one in his mind. As he walked in and he had like a white button-down shirt and like, khaki slacks on, and he had this like tie that was like almost looked like it had been watercolored in a way. It was an interesting design. I'd never seen it before. And his hair like it looked like if you had gone to bed, if you'd like taken the time and gelled your hair down and like parted it on the side and then slept on it, you wake up with the cowlicks, right? And it would just be like blink and all up crazy to one side. That was his hair, right? So he already looked off, right? That's just not a normal thing. And he started our class by reading poetry that he wrote, and his poem was called Beauty in a Plastic Cup, I believe it was called. And the poem was basically about him walking to like a 7-Eleven or a store and finding this little daisy that was growing in the cracks in the sidewalk. He's like, I like that daisy. And he picks it up and he puts it in a cup and he puts it on his windowsill, and then he painted it. And it turns out his watercolor painting was what was on his tie. He turned his painting into a tie, and he was like, if anybody wants to buy any of these pieces, I'm selling them. You can have them for $20. And we're like,
dang, he's transcended poetry. He's like branching out to every medium.
Yeah, he's just dipping his toe in everything. But he was one of those guys where he was really soft spoken, so we really had to lean in to hear him. And he didn't. I'm sure he had the curriculum that was laid out for him. He didn't talk about any of that. He was just talking about himself and all of his poetry and all of his night terrors.
This is the biggest audience he's ever had.
Yeah.
He's got to plug himself.
It was scary. But you got to know your audience, man. Like, it's like, oh, I'm going to talk to these children about my fears. We're going to think you're fucking crazy. Like, if it was like, Like if he was talking to a bunch of art majors that were into all that kind of hippy dippy bullshit, then yeah, he'd have a whole fan group. He's talking to like angsty high school teens who resent any form of authority, especially substitute teachers. So if anything, we're just like, wow, this guy's a freak.
I feel like all subs are freaks, though. Or most of them.
Yeah.
Like a good 90% of them.
Yeah. Well, we've had cool subs. Like, my girlfriend's mother subs on occasion, and she's cool. She's not weird. And I think people like her because she's just very normal. She's like, okay, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and don't be idiots. So just do it. But...
Because we had this one named Mr. Spicy.
Oh, shut up! Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I think that was his actual... He told everybody that was his name. That's what he would write down. He had name tags and stuff.
Mr. Spicy?
Yeah. And he would live in his van. So, yeah, we would see his van parked in, like, the Golden West parking lot.
Okay.
And, like, he would open and, like, all this trash would fall out, and then he'd walk to school. But he kind of looked like he was what I was imagining when you were describing your magician teacher. Like he had the long hair. He was like kind of weird and frail, and he just kind of looked greasy all the time. But his shtick was that he would rhyme everything.
No,
yeah.
You're making that up. What?
Yeah. So every time he wanted you to like open up to him or say something, he could call you a share bear. And like if two people in the class were like chatting too much and they were getting on his nerves, he's like, "Okay, kids, time to perform Operation Relocation." He'd like take him and move him to the other side of the class.
That doesn't even really rhyme.
Don't tell me. I guess this is his deal. But then I found out like a year later, like after I graduated, that he's an international like wanted art thief.
What?
Who just happens to be subbing for our school. Yeah, internationally, he like steals music records and stuff. So he's like wanted in like other countries.
Oh my god!
But he's just our substitute.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a joke of like, did he ever catch himself in like a really hard rhyme? It was like, okay, kids, today we're gonna talk about parabolas. Shit.
And Dr. Seuss comes in. Dr. Seuss Gestapo.
So that's so much to unpack.
Yeah.
So he's an international art thief who lived with the garbage in his car, who loved to rhyme to children in high school.
Yeah, he'd also steal kids' money. If you had his period right before lunch, he'd be like, okay.
Fork over that money, honey.
Pretty much. He'd be like, okay, I'm planning a pizza party. Everybody turned in $5. So everybody who wanted to be a part of it would give him like $5. So he'd end up with like $200, like everybody turning in the money.
Rich kid school.
And then he'd buy like 2 pizzas and pocket the rest of the money.
It's a double dip right there.
Yeah, so I think that's where most of his income was coming from, all that pizza money.
That's a sweet gig.
The substitute was just a front to help him get that.
Yeah, so he clearly wasn't a good thief, because usually when you try to steal things, you want to flip it for some kind of profit. Dude lived in his car full of garbage.
It works for him.
Like, what did he do with the record labels that he stole, or whatever he stole? Music. Like, do you mean like did he?
If you don't have to pay rent, then it's 100% profit, dude.
I guess so.
You don't have to worry about expenses or anything, just gas and parking tickets, I guess, maybe.
But like, I just want to know, like, when you say he stole records or record labels or
records, yeah,
records. So he would go into like different indie record shops and just steal all of their smooth jazz.
I don't know the full extent to it. I just know he's like internationally wanted for stealing records.
So how did you find that out? Like, did police kick down your door one day?
No,
he's like,
Kalen was telling me that police like escorted him out of school one time.
Oh,
in the middle of class. It's like, so do we still have
kids,
fun?
avert your vision. I'm going to prison.
That was good.
Thank you. You got escorted off campus. Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, you could be the new Mr. Spicy.
Mr. Spicy.
Yeah, that's how you have to inherit the title.
Don't let my greasy appearance fool you. It's Spicy. Name is Spicy. There was one guy that I had whose name was Mr. Mailman, right?
And he was a substitute.
And he was a substitute teacher.
Man, you got into the wrong field.
I was gonna say, maybe he just didn't want to live up to the expectation that the very low expectation, mind you, that his parents put for him.
No, I feel like you have to though. Just like for the sake of the children. Because it'll be like they're living in like a little kid's cartoon now.
Exactly.
Like, good morning, Mr. Mailman. What do you have for me today?
Oh, but yeah, so he was a substitute teacher, but he was also, I didn't learn this until my senior year. He was also like a 5th degree black belt master.
Dang.
Right? And I didn't know.
He had to fight off all those dogs when he was delivering mail.
Whatcha? They just get cut in half. No, but like, because my friend, well, friend is a strong word. A guy that I knew in high school did like MMA fighting, and his dad like owned a dojo or whatever, so he thought he was the shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like senior year, he was subbing for us, and then someone was like, hey, yo, Mr. Mailman, like, show us some kung fu action or whatever. And he's like, oh no, like I can't. Like, I can't do any of those. You're children or whatever. And then the kid that, like, you know, thought he was all that, like, pops up and was like, yo, man, I'll take you on. Like, let's do this. And he's like, well, what do you think is going to happen here, kid? Like, I'm not going to fight you because that's, 1, illegal, and 2, that's just stupid. But then the guy just kept egging him on. He's like, all right, I'll show you one disarming technique that I know. Okay, here's what we're going to do. And he you know, he walked up and he grabbed like one of the magic markers from the whiteboard and he hands it to the guy. He's like, okay, just so here's what we're going to do. We'll say that that's a knife, right? Mm-hmm. And now whenever you're ready, just try and stab me. And he's like, okay. And I seriously.
The dust clears.
Yeah. Like I legitimately don't know what happened. All I know is that the end of it was the kid was on his knees in an arm bar, and Mr. Mailman had the magic marker, and it was at his throat. And I'm like, whoa! Wow! Okay. And so, like, he pops up, I'm like, that was amazing. He's like, oh, thank you very much, and I'll get back to doing your work or whatever. And then he sat back down and put his headphones in, and we're like, man, that's it. We could have the Karate Kid right now. Like, who's the kid that's getting bullied in school? We'll find him and introduce each other.
That's terrifying, though, because now I bet nobody in that class is gonna like get out of line.
No, he was great. Like, he was super chill too, which was like,
because he has all the power in the world.
Yeah, that had.
He's not worried about anything anymore.
Exactly. Like he was a substitute, so he wasn't even like a legitimate teacher. He would just come and hang out and then teach and then leave. Presumably to go fight, you know, the hordes of Japan or something like that. But yeah, he was really cool though. I liked him. There was this wasn't a proud moment in my my educational past, but there was this one sub we had named Mr. Aiken, who was an old man, and he was nice. He was very sweet, but he was just painfully deaf, right? Uh-huh. Which is a green light for any 7th or 8th grader to do whatever it is you want. And so whenever he would turn around on the board, like, a kid and I would just start playing. We'd all just start playing music and just like throwing things. He can't hear, so we just start throwing things at people and yelling. Yeah, I know. It wasn't the brightest moment, like I said, but we just start like messing around. He'd turn around and I'll put it down. Music would still be playing, but he couldn't hear it. And then like like, hey, he knew we were doing something. So he'd see like, you know, papers going flying. He's like, hey guys, come on now. Let's be mature here.
I like how your substitutes have the same voice.
They actually kind of did. Like, I'm doing my best to imitate them. Like, that's not me being lack of voices. That's just how they all sounded. And there was one time with Mr. Aiken where, like, he'd go sit at the desk, and like my friends would get up and they'd walk around him and just take pictures of the back of him with their cell phone. Mm-hmm. I don't really know what the end game was there. I think it was just because they could. Yeah, we were bad. We're bad kids.
Yeah, I don't want to be friends with you anymore.
Yeah, hey, that's old me, right? This is new
young
me.
You.
That's young me. This is older me. This is more world wise me. I would never do that anymore. I'd wear a mask next time I did something like that.
Genius. Just like Red Dead Redemption.
Exactly. I got
this. You got the bandana on, then you're fine.
Exactly.
Cops don't care.
Like Assassin's Creed, I'm gonna sit on a bench with 2 people that kind of look like me and like, I guess he's gone.
Yeah, you just walk next to some monks and they're like, oh, he's probably good.
Exactly. I'll hide in like an overturned garbage can. I'm like, he got away again. God bless it.